Good day everyone, I am Kervin Kylie D. Mendoza and these are my members Gintu Jenzel Mier D, Cornejo Rachel M, and Bagsik Christine Joy C. We are the Group 4 and today we are going to discuss the Module 5 entitled Motivation in the Workplace. But before let us proceed to the proper discussion, let us have icebreaker. Familiar naman po tayong lahat sa larong 4 picks 1 word, no? Ito ay isang word guessing game kung saan is magpapakita po kami ng 4 pictures linked by 1 word. For example, what have you noticed sa 4 pictures? May human behavior in organization, readings in Philippine history, mathematics in the modern world, and basic financial accounting. Ano po kaya yung naglilink sa 4 pictures? Let us know the answer po in the next slide. The answer is course. Ito yung mga subjects na pinag-aaralan natin this first semester. The 3 slide next to this do not have voice record because you just need to guess the 4 pictures linked by 1 word. Now, you can take down your answers and put it to the form that we will give later. We will start the formal discussion about Module 5, Motivation in the Workplace. After reading and understanding this module, students will be able to describe the theories of motivation and analyze how motivation plays a big role in organizational behavior. Do you guys have idea what motivation is? According to the module, motivation is essentially about the drive and commitment to doing something. Motivation is the act or process of motivating. Ang motivation daw po ay ang drive and commitment to do something. Ito yung dedikasyon mo po para gawin yung isang bagay. For example, sa pagiging BSA student po natin, bakit po ba ito yung pinili nating program? Ano yung nagmamotivate sa atin para ipagpatuloy po ito kahit mahirap? Di ba po most of us naman ay para kumita na malaki and maging CPA someday? Yun po yung nagmamotivate sa atin para gawin po yung responsibility po natin as a BSA student. Through that po, may ipapakita mo dun yung motivation. Yun po yung pag-act mo na pagiging motivated. What is workplace naman po? The workplace is the location at which an employee provides work for an employer. It means po that the workplace is yung specific place or location na kung saan is pine-perform ng isang individual yung role niya as a worker. The common examples daw po ng workplace is yung mga offices, factory, farm, and other places where work are performed. Like what our professor doing when we have face-to-face classes. They are teaching us in school and I can say that our school is a workplace because dito nila pine-perform yung trabaho nila. And now that we know the meaning of motivation and workplace, in your opinion, what is motivation in the workplace? Motivation in the workplace is somebody's willingness to work. From the phrase willingness to do work, ito po yung willingness ng isang worker to complete their daily tasks. That they are not just doing their activities to just earn salary, but they love to do it because may nagmamotivate po sa kanila para gawin ito. For example, if you will be an entrepreneur, what will you do to motivate your employee in a workplace? Simple lang po, to give them high salary and promotion. With that, magkakaroon ng motivation ang employee sa isang workplace for them na mapulfill yung responsibility nila as a worker. It might be something where someone feels sense of satisfaction from accomplishing something or having successful results after a very challenging situation. Ito daw po yung satisfaction natin from accomplishing something na yung mga ginagawa po natin noon is better than we normally does. Most of the time, when nasa challenging situation po tayo, dapat dito po nag-e-exist yung motivation natin in our workplace. Na kahit gaano po kahirap yung work natin is nagagawa po natin ito ng maayos sapagkat we are motivated nga po na gawin ito. We have a goal po na dapat nating ma-meet, not the company's goal po but your goal as an employee. In your opinion, why motivated person or staffs are important in a workplace? Based on our module, a motivated person is important in a workplace because they plays a very important role in the growth of the business. They are often used to become productive members of organization because when the employees are motivated, they are an assets of the organization. Na malaki yung role nila in the company na kung saan is nagiging asset na po sila nito because they are exerting high levels of effort toward organizational goals. Na maganda yung contribute mo sa entity, your performance, your idea, your support to the company are all goods. That's why the motivated staffs are absolutely essential in a workplace. Next topic naman po is about the motivation theory. What is motivation theory? Motivation theory is the study of understanding what drives a person to work towards a particular goal or outcome. Ito daw po yung theory wherein pinag-aaralan po yung goal ng isang individual kung bakit sila nagtatrabaho. Dito po natin ma-determine kung bakit ang mga employee po ay nagagawa yung mga responsibility nila. Ano po ba yung general objectives ng mga staffs kung bakit yung motivation is nananaig po sa kanila. This theory po, which is motivation theory, is essential din po in the society but is especially important po sa business and management because of the reason na malalaman po ng isang company kung ano po ba yung needs ng kanyang employee para maging productive po ito. Motivation theories po can be distinguished between content and process motivation theories. Content theories po, which are also called the need theories, focus on what human behavior is motivated. In this theory po, it attempts to define what those motives or needs are, while process theories of motivation naman po attempt to explain how and why our motivations affect our behaviors. Within the work environment, content theories po are the earliest theories of motivation na may greatest impact on management practice and policy, but are the least accepted in the academic community because it cannot explain entirely what motivates and demotivates people. It just tries to identify what our needs are and relate motivation to the fulfillment of these needs. While ang process theories naman po in the work environment is kabaliktaran ng content theories because it is concerned with the occurrence of motivation and what influences the occurrence of motivation. There are four main content theories po. These are Maslow's needs hierarchy, Alderfer's ERG theory, McClelland's achievement motivation, and Herzberg two-factor theory. Under main process theories naman po or Skinner's reinforcement theory, Victor Vroom's expectancy theory, Adams' equity theory, and Locke's goal setting theory. The first theory po na madidiscuss ay under po ng content theories, which is Maslow's need hierarchy. What is Maslow's hierarchy theory? Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the earliest and most widely known theory of motivation. It developed by Abraham Maslow in the 1940s and 1950s. Ayon po kay Maslow, needs po are classified into 5 basic categories. For you po kaya, ano kaya yung pinakakailangan nating mga tao? Ano yung unang nagmamotivate sa mga workers kung bakit kailangan nilang magtrabaho? The first category po is physiological needs. Physiological needs po are yung mga basic needs po natin like yung water, food, and air. Ito po yung pangunahing pangangailangan ng ating katawan. For us na magawa po natin ng ayos yung mga need po natin gawin in our daily lives, we need to satisfy our physiological need. Like what Maslow emphasized po, if our basic needs po are not satisfied, our body and mind cannot function well. It will lead us po to feel dizzy, irritate, and annoy in everything. We can survive din po if these physiological needs did not meet because it is considered po as internal and universal basic needs. Kapag nasatisfied na po ang physiological needs, ang sunod naman po is safety and security. Ito naman po is yung pangangailangan natin for security and safety. Like kapag nakakaranas po tayo ng natural disaster, family violence, childhood abuse, and the absence of economic safety due to economic crisis and lack of work opportunities na nangyari po sa atin 2 years ago. Most of the people po ay nawalan ng job security because nagkaroon nga po tayo ng pandemic na nag-lead po sa maraming tao na mawalan ng trabaho. Ang other example din po dito is yung human rights matter security or personal security. Dito papasok yung karapatan nating pangtao. Emotional security, self-image, insecurity, and the financial security or having stable income. And especially po is yung safety ng ating physical and mental health. Lahat naman po tayo ay may pangangailangan or gusto natin yung ligtas tayo. Yung pakiramdam na secure tayo sa paligid na ating tinatayuan. When both the physiological and the safety needs are fulfilled, the affection, love, and belongingness needs come next. Ang belongingness and love needs is yung human need to love and be loved both sexually and non-sexually by others. Ang example is yung mga large group like your school friend, family, relatives, and your partner. All of us naman po is gustong ma-feel na we are belong to everyone, that they love us whoever we are. What will happen kaya when this need is not achieved? Magre-result ito ng loneliness, social anxiety, and yung worst is clinical depression. So for us po na maiwasan ito, we need to satisfy our belongingness and love needs. The fourth category is esteem. Esteem means being valued, respected, and appreciated by others. People need to feel significant, useful, or valued by others. People with low self-esteem often need respect from others. Esteem po or self-esteem is ito yung human desire to be accepted and valued by other people. Wala naman sigurong taong gusto lagi siyang binabastos or hinaharas. We always want na ma-accept tayo and respetuhin ng mga taong nasa paligid natin. Here, we must boost our self-confidence para hindi tayo mabilitel ng mga tao. If hindi naman na-meet ang self-esteem, ay magkakaroon ka naman ng insecurities and yung moment na mararamdaman mo na you are not good enough. Na mababa yung tingin mo sa sarili mo. That's why we need na ma-meet yung self-esteem natin for us to have a self-confidence and tiwala sa ating sarili. The last category po is self-actualization. Self-actualization reflects on individual's desire to grow and develop to his or her fullest potential. In this level of need, it is desire to accomplish that one can or that one can be. This level of need refers to the realization of one's full potential. Ito po yung stage ng needs wherein yung mga kakayanan natin is dapat na perform po natin at our very best. Kung anong kaya natin gawin, gawin natin. Show to them what we really can do.
Now, let's proceed naman po with Alderfer ERG theory or the ERG stands for the existence needs, relatedness needs, and growth needs. According to Alderfer po, meron daw pong tatlong classes of needs which are yung existence, relatedness, and growth. For the existence needs naman po, including po dito yung all the materials and psychological desires or yung pangangailangan ng isang tao. For example po, yung food, water, air, clothing, safety, physical love, and affection. And makikita po natin ang existence needs sa first two levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs po. Next po is the relatedness needs. This focuses po on relationships natin around sa mga taong nakapaligid sa atin. For example po, family, friends, co-workers, and employers. Ibig pong sabihin, nare-recognize natin or alam natin yung pakiramdam na secure. Since kapag po kasi sinabing part tayo ng isang group or family, ramdam natin yung comfort or comfortable tayo around them. And this needs po is makikita natin sa third and fourth level since it encompasses social and external esteem po. And for the last needs naman po is the growth needs. It focuses naman po sa internal esteems and self-actualization. From the word self po, ibig po sabihin, yung isang tao is mayroon siyang desire para makagawa ng creative task or maging productive sa paggawa nun. Kumbaga po, nagkakaroon siya ng development sa kanyang sarili towards dun sa environment na kanyang ginagalawan. And makikita po natin tong growth needs sa 4th and 5th level since ini-include po nito yung desires nga po na magkaroon siya ng creative and productive objectivity para matapos ang isang task ng maayos. Next po is the Magellan need for achievement, affiliation, and power. Noong 1960s daw po, si David Magellan ay bumuo ng isang Maslow's work na nagde-describe ng 3 human motivators. And kiniklaim po niya na yung isang tao daw po is may kakayahang mag-acquire or matuto through their motivators. And ito po yung naging reason niya kung bakit siya nag-came up sa theory na to, and sometimes po tinatawag itong theory na to na learned needs theory. He concluded po na ang isang tao daw po is mayroong 3 motivating drivers and hindi daw po ito dumedepende sa kung ano ang gender or age ng isang tao but rather sa culture and life experiences po. And the 3 motivators are achievement, affiliation, and power. And for the achievement naman po, kapag sinabing achievement po, most of us are familiar po dito since it refers to a person's need for success or mastery of skills and is related with a range of actions. For example po, tayo as a students, meron po tayo kanya-kanyang challenging goals and nag-strive po tayo para ma-attain or ma-achieve yung goal na yon. For example po, nag-aaral tayo para ma-attain natin yung goal natin na magkaroon ng maayos na trabaho. And yung sources naman po of high need for achievements can be through getting praise for success, goal setting skills, and yung competence po ng isang tao or yung effort niya para ma-achieve yung something na bagay na gusto niyang ma-attain. And for the affiliation naman po, it is the need for love, belonging, and relatedness. Ibig pong sabihin tayo as an individual, minsan kailangan lang natin ng strong bond of friendship and gusto natin na maging belong tayo sa isang social group since hindi nga po natin minsan kaya na tayo lang mag-isa. Next po is power. It is the need to control over one's own work or the work of others. Ibig pong sabihin, ang isang tao daw po is meron siyang sense of driven para mag-lead or magkaroon ng successful idea sa isang task. Ang tao daw po na may ganitong katangian is kadalasang mayroong control or sila yung mas nakaka-influence to others. And nagkaroon po ng argue si Magellan with regards sa motivator na to. Since ang sabi niya po na ang isang tao daw po na mayroong achievement is sila yung mga taong can become the best leaders. And ang disadvantage naman po ng motivators na to is Kung halimbawa po ako as a person, meron akong katangian nito and ang expectation ko po sa mga taong nakapaligid sa akin is kung ano yung kakayahan ko, ganun din yung kakayahan ng mga taong nakapaligid sa akin. Next po, let's proceed with the Hertzberg two-factor theory. Hertzberg two-factor theory is also called motivation hygiene theory. In this theory daw po, meron dalawang factors which are the motivating factors na nagkakos ng job satisfaction and yung isa naman po is the hygiene factors na nagkakos ng dissatisfaction. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito na ang feelings of satisfaction and dissatisfactions daw po ay hindi naman magkasalungat with each other but rather ito daw po yung pinaniniwalaan kadalasan. Ang opposite daw po ng satisfaction is not dissatisfaction but rather no satisfaction at all po. Now, let's proceed naman po with Hertzberg's view of satisfaction and dissatisfaction. According po to Hertzberg, meron daw po 5 factors of job satisfaction which are the achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, and advancements. These factors po are, ito yung nakakapagpamotivate. But otherwise po, meron pong factors of job dissatisfaction which are the company policy and administration, supervision, salary, interpersonal relationships, and working conditions. And ito naman po yung kailangan ng isang person para maging efficient siya sa work and ma-achieve niya yung goal ng isang company. For the motivating and hygiene factors naman po, hygiene factors po are needed to ensure na ang isang employee po is not dissatisfied, and motivation factors po are needed naman po to ensure na satisfied po yung isang employees and they are motivated para magkaroon ng higher performance or maging mas maayos yung performance nila sa isang company. Now, for the Skinner's reinforcement theory naman po, according to Skinner's operant conditioning theory, meron daw pong dalawang reinforcements, which are the positive and the negative. When it comes to the positive reinforcement po, for example, verbal praise, appreciation, extra vacation days, tax options, or any other reward can increase the possibility that the rewarded behavior will happen again. Kapag po nakakatanggap tayo ng verbal praise, parang nagkakaroon tayo ng motivation para mas ayusin yung work natin as a person. For example, as a students, kapag nakikita natin na nagkakaroon tayo ng progress, nagiging maganda yung results ng quizzes, exams, and na-appreciate tayo ng mga props natin, mas nagiging maayos yung pag-organize natin ng mga activities and kung paano tayo gumawa ng mga activities natin in a way na magiging productive tayo. Like, positive verbal feedback and nga po, high grade on examination that can student receives, and ito yung nakakapag-encourage para mas ayusin nila since mayroong natatanggap na rewards in return. But in negative reinforcement naman, for example po, when we try para bawasan yung stress natin by altering employees' hours, nagiging negative reinforcement dahil po nabawasan yung unpleasant states. In contrast po sa positive and negative reinforcement is mayroon tayong punishment na nagre-result sa undesired reinforcement or ito yung mga hindi natin gustong behavior. And for overall conclusion po is reinforcement theory po is included in many other motivation theories. Sabi nga po is that reward must meet someone's needs, expectations, and dapat ma-apply natin ito equitably and must be consistent. Hindi pwedeng kapag nagkaroon tayo ng reward or sa isang bagay ay sasabihin natin, ay okay na, satisfied na tayo. And sa susunod, hindi na natin na-meet yung expectations natin and hindi na naging consistent. And yung desired ng behavior natin is dapat daw po is clear and realistic. Now, let's proceed po with Bloom's expectancy theory. The expectancy theory po is that it focuses and emphasizes the process and on the content of motivation, and as well as it integrates needs, equity, and reinforcement theories. Victor Bloom's po expectancy theory, ini-aim po nito on how people choose from the available actions, and dinedefine naman po nito na ang motivation daw po is a process that governs our choices among the alternative forms of voluntary behavior, and that the basic rationale of this theory po is that ang motivation daw po is that it comes from the belief na ang decision daw po is will have eventually the desired outcomes, and that yung motivation po is engaged in the activity and determined by the appraising three factors. And ang tatlong factors po na ito is the expectancy, instrumentality, and the valence. For the expectancy, ito po yung belief or paniniwala ng isang individual na kapag nagkaroon siya ng hard work, nagkaroon siya ng effort towards sa isang task, magre-result ito ng success and magiging maayos yung outcome ng kanyang output. And for the instrumentality naman po, ito naman po yung belief na magkakaroon ng connection between the activity and the goal. And if you perform well, ibig pong sabihin kapag daw po naging maayos yung performance sa isang activity or sa isang work, ay eventually magkakaroon ng reward in return. And for the last po is the balance. Ito naman po yung degree in which a person values the reward. Yung isang individual daw po is nagkakaroon ng concern or value sa isang reward, and nagre-result din po ito sa success. And the expectancy theory po is that hina-highlight po nito yung differences ng individuals' motivations and yung usage po ng factors sa pag-intindi ng increasing motivation. And this theory po implies the importance of being consistent po sa ating ginagawa, and in return po nagkakaroon tayo ng rewards. And this theory po suggests that although individuals po tayo as a person, mayroong pagkakaiba-iba ng set of goals, pero maaari pa rin po tayong maging motivated and maniwala na there is a positive correlation between efforts and performance, and mayroong favorable performance will result in a desirable reward, or yung gusto nating performance ay nagkakaroon ng gusto rin nating reward. the reward will satisfy an important need. And lastly, the desire to satisfy the need is strong enough to make the effort worthwhile. Kumbaga po, nagiging satisfied tayo sa ating mga task and nare-realize natin na nagiging worth it lahat ng pagod, lahat ng sacrifices natin towards sa isang task.
So for our next theory, we have the Adams equity theory. So the equity theory states that people are motivated if they are treated equitably and receive what they consider fair for their effort and cost. So according po sa Adams equity theory, kung ang isang employee ay nakakatanggap ng fair payment or yung tinatawag nating outcome para sa kanyang effort or yung ating input, this employee are more likely stay motivated, and kapag motivated ang isang employee, he or she would find the satisfaction on his or her position and mas pag-iigihan pa niya lalo sa work. So para mas maintindihan natin ang equity theory, dapat natin malaman ano nga ba yung input at ano nga ba yung outcome. So, yung input daw po ay yung kino-contribute ng isang empleyado sa isang company para makareceive ng reward. It includes experience, skills, knowledge, effort, energy, time, responsibility, and flexibility. So, yung outcome naman po or yung output is ito na yung reward na natatanggap ng isang empleyado in exchange doon sa input or sa kino-contribute niya sa company. So, it includes salary, reward, bonus security, recognition, learning and development opportunities, and good working conditions. Equity theory is based in the idea that individuals are motivated by fairness, and if they identify inequities in the input or output ratios of themselves and their reference person or a selection of people an individual relates to or uses when comparing themselves, they will seek to adjust their input to reach their perceived equity. Adams suggested that the higher an individual's perception of equity, the more motivated they will be, and vice versa. If someone perceives an unfair environment, they will be demotivated. So, makukonsider ng isang employee na siya ay tinatrato fairly kung yung ratio ng kanyang input and outcome ay equivalent sa mga katrabaho niya. So, ini-evaluate nitong employee yung kanyang input and outcome by comparing it with the input and output ratios ng iba pang empleyado. And yung taong pinagkomperan niya ay tinatawag nating reference person. So, for example, let us say our employee 1 is Ms. Bagsik and our employee 2 is Ms. Ginto. So, itong si Ms. Bagsik, napansin niya na si Ms. Ginto, itong si Ms. Ginto ngayon, yung kanyang reference person, ay mas nakakatanggap ng mas maraming reward kung i-compare sa kanya, kahit na both of them naman have done the same amount and quality ng trabaho. So, maglilid ito sa dissatisfaction ni Ms. Bagsik, and this dissatisfaction would result sa pagiging unmotivated ni Ms. Bagsik. So, when inequity exists in a workplace, a person might reduce his or her inputs, efforts, quantity, or quality of his or her work. So, maaari daw po na bawasan ng isang empleyado yung kalidad ng kanyang trabaho and magdi-decrease yung productivity. Try to increase his or her outputs. So, maaari daw po na isang empleyado ay makipag-negotiate para taasan yung kanyang salary or output. Adjust his or her perception of reference person or his or her outcomes or input. So, maaaring isipin ng isang employee na baka nga mas skilled kaysa sa kanya yung reference person and baka need niya na mas pag-igihan pa. Change the reference person. So, maaari din palitan ng isang employee yung kanyang reference person or yung taong pinagkukumparahan niya ng kanyang sarili. Pwedeng i-compare niya ngayon yung sarili niya doon sa person na mas mababa pa yung salary kaysa sa kanya. Quit the situation. So, maaaring mag-resign na yung isang employee and maghanap na lang siya ng ibang trabaho. So, I hope naintindihan niyo po yung Adams Equity Theory. So, now, mag-move na po tayo sa ating next theory, which is the Lax Goal Setting Theory. The Lax Goal Setting Theory emphasizes that setting specific, challenging performance goals and the commitment to these goals are key determinants of motivation. So, according po sa Lax Goal Setting Theory, the more challenging yung goal, the more focused an employee become. So, mas lalong nagsusumikap ang isang employee para maabot yung kanyang goal na magre-result para makareceive siya ng positive feedback na maglilid din sa satisfaction niya sa workplace. Then, mas lalo niya pang pag-iigihan. So, there are following guidelines that have been useful in the goal setting. First, set challenging but attainable goals. So, a goal must be challenging. Pero hindi naman yung tipong beyond sa iyong kakayahan. Kasi instead na mamotivate ka, mapaprostrate ka lang and madidisappoint kasi hindi mo kayang abutin or ma-achieve yung goal. Second, set specific and measurable goals. So, your goal must be specific. You must know exactly kung ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve. And it must also be measurable para matrack mo yung progress and performance mo. Next, goal commitment should be obtained. Alam naman nating lahat na if you really want to succeed, you need a strong commitment to your goals. Nandyan dapat yung determination, yung dedication despite the obstacles kasi yun nga, wala namang nagtatanggumpay na hindi dumadaan sa hirap. So next, support elements should be provided. So feedback is an important component of the goal setting theory. Because of feedback, malalaman mo yung parts where you're doing well and parts na need pa ng improvement. And makakatulong itong feedback para makaisip ka ng bagong ideas na pwede mong itry na makakatulong rin for you to move forward. The last one is knowledge of result is essential. Make sure meron kang sapat na oras to adjust, practice, or learn what is necessary to achieve the goal. Nandyan yung participation and involvement. So now we will be discussing about the alienation at work. Alienation in the workplace happens when a worker can express individuality only when they are producing work. When they lose their independence and become just another part of a bigger picture, they feel emotionally separated from others, and this is when they feel alienated. So, yung alienation is kapag ang isang employee parang pakiramdam niya or feeling niya wala siyang connection sa mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya or let us say sa kanyang boss or manager. So, nangyayari to kapag kunwari ang isang employee parang may gusto siyang sabihin pero naisip niya na wag na lang kasi pwedeng takot siya to speak up kasi iniisip niya na inappropriate na magbigay ng honest opinion kung hindi naman hinihingi ng boss nila or hindi naman pinapaalam ng boss nila kung gusto ba nito or hindi ng feedback mula sa kanyang employee. So, there are 4 types of alienation at work. The first one is the alienation from production. So, this type of alienation happens when the worker does not see the final product they produce. Rather, they focus only on a piece of what they are producing. As a result, workers don't understand what role they play in the entire process. Second, we have the alienation from the act of production. So this happens when an employee is only given a set of instructions to complete. They do not get the instructions for the entire process. The employee never has a role in the whole vision or planning, and they are made to feel that those who create the vision are an elite class. An example to explain the meaning of alienation from the act of production is when the shoemaker makes the shoes by his own hand, he can proudly say that it is his shoe. It means that he is not alienated. But if he is in the industry and he contributes a little part of production in producing the product, he will be alienated from the product itself because he does not know the whole part of the product or what he has produced. Thus, when he sees his shoe are used by someone, he will not be proud of the shoe. It is caused by the feeling of estrangement from the product they produce. The worker thinks that it is not his shoe but the company's shoe where he works. So the worker does not satisfy with the product he makes. So the third one is the alienation from themselves. By nature, people want to be creative and then implement those ideas. This type of alienation happens when people cannot maintain that part of their humanity. They feel as though they cannot be themselves. They may even begin to feel like they are not human. That means that when we work, we have a plan in our head. When we work without a plan because it is being arranged, then we are alienated. So the alienation from themselves involves to the existence as human. Human have to be universal and free being in doing the activity. It means that our activity is based on our free will. It is not arranged by someone to do it. If our activity is being arranged by others, we cannot develop ourselves to our fullest extent. Moreover, we might fail to recognize our own ability since we depend on other judgment. So the last one is the alienation from others. So this type of alienation tends to happen when workers specialize in a small piece of a larger whole. While it may be good for employees to have a specialty, these employees begin to feel like they are in a thankless job. And they also may feel like they're missing out on a bonding with others. So division of labor is the cause of the alienation from others because there is no social interaction between the workers. They are too busy with their job to interact to others because they have different position. There are many ways companies alienate employees, sometimes without even realizing it. So here are some examples of how employees feel alienation. Keeping them in the dark, not asking for their input, keeping them boxed in, ignoring their goals, working them too hard, playing favorites instead, and not valuing them. So for the next topic, we have the work from home and other alternative work arrangement. The 2020 COVID-19 pandemic has placed flexible work arrangements, especially telework, in the spotlight, with many states issuing stay-at-home orders and allowing only essential businesses to keep their physical locations open. Unprepared employers were forced to implement flexible work options on the fly. So because of COVID-19 pandemic, nag-arise yung work from home and na-implement yung flexible work arrangements. So flexible work arrangements offers numerous benefits. Pero kung merong opportunities, meron din challenges. So this is just an overview and si Miss Christine Joy Bagsik po ang bahalang magpaliwanag po sa inyo. Thank you po.
Opportunities offer numerous benefits to both employers and employees. And those benefits are assisting in recruiting efforts, enhancing worker morale, managing employee attendance and reducing absenteeism, improving retention of good workers, boosting productivity, creating a better work or life balance for workers, minimizing harmful impact on global ecology, and allowing for business continuity during emergency circumstances such as weather disasters or pandemic. So, katulad ng patakaran ng Unilever sa buong kumpanya, ay nagpapahintulot sa higit sa 100,000 empleyado maliban sa factory production worker na magtrabaho anumang oras kahit saan hanggat natutugunan nila ang mga pangailangan sa negosyo. And those leadership identify the following benefits when making the business case for the policy. Those are travel, technology, real estate, health, work or life balance, sustainability, and retention and engagement. Challenges. So, in challenges, a situation that threatens to hinder or derail a business pursuit of success. And those managers tasked with implementing strategic goals related to flexible work arrangements need to keep many things in mind. Yung mga dapat isipin sa isang business is keeping programs relevant to workers, real needs or wants, focusing on the unique needs of a specific group of workers without creating second class of workers, and without engaging in unlawful disparate treatment or disparate impact discrimination. Communicating broadly to achieve the benefits of flexible work arrangements, and exercising caution when eliminating a program that is not working or is no longer relevant to enough workers. So we have two types of flexibility. One is the schedule flexibility and the location flexibility. So, schedule flexibility. It allows employees a level of autonomy to create their own schedules and find a work-life balance that works for them. And instead of the traditional 9 to 5 work week, a flexible schedule allows employees to vary the times they begin and end their work days. One of the examples is flex time. It is a type of alternative schedule that gives a worker greater latitude in choosing his or her particular hours of work or freedom to change work schedules from one week to the next depending on the employee's personal needs. And the example of different flexible work arrangement is stagger hours within a fixed schedule. In this, employees establish starting and ending times and that different from the department's norm but keep the same schedule each day. Then another one is the core hours within a variable schedule, wherein the employees must be present during specified core hours determined by the supervisor or manager but may adjust their arrival and departure times each day. It is expected that the employee will work a set number of hours each week. And the third one is the variable day, wherein the employees may work a consistent schedule of different number of hours each day as long as they achieve the expected number of hours within the week. Example is Monday, Wednesday 10 hours, Tuesday, Friday 8 hours, then Thursday 6.5 hours. Then the fourth one is the midday flex time, wherein the employees may take a longer scheduled break than usual if they make up the extra time by starting work earlier by staying later. Then the another example for schedule flexibility is the compressed work week. It is an alternative scheduling method that allows employees to work a standard work week of 40 hours over a period of fewer than 5 days in 1 week or 10 days in 2 weeks. Shift work has traditionally been used in manufacturing environments to maximize productivity from fixed resources and costs. Most recently, shift work has become a feature of the 24/7 service economy and a byproduct of globalization. So, ang araw ng shift is nahahati sa tatlo. First, second, and third. Maaaring mag-iba yung timing ng shift depende sa uri ng negosyo and yung mga oras ng operasyon or kung full-time or part-time ang isang empleyado. And then, commonly, ang naiisip ko is the 7-Eleven, wherein they are open 24 hours. So, if you want to work night shift, that is a good option for them. The shifts are usually 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. In part-time jobs, it is the most traditional of flexible scheduling option. This option is typically used when a job requires fewer than 40 hours of work per week. Or let's say, ang part-time is non-standard employment. Pwede kang mag-take ng fast food attendant, server, grocery store bagger. Yun yung mga example ng part-time jobs. In job sharing naman, it is the practice of having two different employees performing the task of one full-time position. Typically, they divide their responsibilities in a manner that meets both of their needs as well as those of the employer. And one of the advantage of job sharing is as the work is divided, there is a better balance at the professional front and there's no need to accept undue work pressure. But then, sa disadvantage nun, pwedeng magkaroon sila ng issues in a job sharing arrangement about who is in charge of that equation. And kapag nangyari yun, when two employees are job sharing, it can result in unnecessary competition between them. This is unhealthy for the employees as well as the company they are working for. Location flexibility refers to arrangements that make it possible for employees to work remotely from the main work site. There are several types of location flexibility. Telecommuting is the most common. Other practices include hoteling and so-called snow bear program. So, commuting is also as known as telework, involves the use of computers and telecommunications technology to overcome the constraints of location or time on work. Or maaaring mangyari ang telework mula sa bahay, sa center or sa bus or eroplano. Kasi yung physical na lokasyon is hindi na siya ganun kahalaga kaysa dun sa mahusay na pag-ooperate. At ang telework ay pinakaangkop para sa mga trabahong kailangan ng independent na pakikipag-ugnayan na merong konsentrasyon at nasusukat ang produkto sa trabaho at nakabatay sa output sa halip na nakabatay sa oras ng pagmomonitor. So, to develop motivated employees, a manager must treat people as individuals, empower workers, provide an effective reward system, redesign jobs, and create a flexible workplace. Like empowering employees. Empowerment is based on the idea that providing employees with the resources, authority, opportunity, and motivation to do their work, as well as holding them accountable for their action, will make employees happier and more proficient. Parang sinasabi dito na kapag ang isang empleyado binigyan mo ng isang authority para makapagtrabaho sa isang workplace, parang magkakaroon siya ng good sustainable sa business. And then, next is the providing an effective reward system. Studies have shown that employees are ultimately motivated by two goals: earning money and being fulfilled within their job. Siyempre, yung effective reward system, makukuha mo siya kasi namomotivate ka na yung both extrinsic and intrinsic in place to increase motivation. You are making sure that they deserve to earn the rewards for their hard work, and in turn, you will have no problem with their performance. Next is the redesigning job. The concept of job redesign, which requires a knowledge of a concern for the human qualities people bring with them to the organization, applies motivational theories to the structure of work for improving productivity and satisfaction. So, kapag nagre-redesign ng job, syempre ang hinahanap ng managers is yung job scope and job depth. And those redesign attempts may include job enlargement. Those are adding additional activities within the same level to an existing role. Next is the job rotation, the systematic movement of employees from one job to another within the organization to achieve various human resources objectives. And the third one is the job enrichment, expand the range of tasks that you perform and the skills that you can develop. Sa job characteristic model by Hackman and Oldman, according to this, the presence of Firecore job dimension ensures three psychological states. And these psychological states, nakaka-impluwensya sa mga kanais-nais na resulta ng trabaho tulad ng kalidad ng trabaho at saka yung job satisfaction. In the core job dimensions, we have skill variety. This refers to the range of skills and activities necessary to complete the jobs. And one of the example of skill variety is an illustration of the job with high skill variety would be an owner-operator of a garage who interact with customers, performs electrical repairs, does bodywork, and rebuild engines. Next is the task identity. These dimensions measure the degree to which the job requires completion of a whole and identifiable piece of work. For example, a crafts worker who takes a piece of wood and transforms it into a custom-made piece of furniture, such as a deck, has higher task identity than a worker who performs only one of the numerous operations required to assemble a television. In task significance, this looks at the impact and influence a job. Example, the job of a receptionist has lower task significance because a temporary employee can be brought in answering phones and sort mail. But doctors would have high task significance because not anyone can do their job and they have knowledge of their patients and their situation that would not have. So, like what I've said, the impact and the influence of the job, that is the task significance. Next is the autonomy. This describes the amount of individual choice and discretion involved in a job. So for employees, for letting employees set their own schedule, the most example of functional autonomy is employees that are allowed to create their own work schedules. These demonstrate trust, freedom to make decisions, and individuality. So the last one is the feedback. This dimension measures the amount of information an employee receives about his or her performance and the extent to which he or she can the impact of the work. Or maybe the performance evaluation are a way to give consistent feedback to your employees. When you complete performance evaluation, be sure to use a reward system. Rewarding employees who perform well can motivate them to continue to improve. So, thank you for listening at sana may natutunan kayo sa aming lesson.